Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, hit on the subscribe button, like, and don't forget to share your comments in the comment section down below. With that said, let's get into today's video. Now in today's video, we look into the issues of trust and racial dynamics in today's society. In a viral clip, a palm color woman bravely raises the question of whether black individuals harbor animosity towards palm color people solely based on their race. Now the responses from my fellow black brothers and sisters offer a profound perspective, emphasizing that it's not about hate, but rather a fundamental issue of trust. Their words underscore a reality shaped by centuries of systemic oppression, where communities of color and black people have been marginalized and disenfranchised. So join me as we explore this crucial dialogue, shedding light on the enduring legacy of mistrust rooted in historical injustices and the ongoing struggle for genuine reconciliation and understanding. For now, check out these videos. I will be right back, and when I do, I share my own 2 cents as well.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I already know it, but you know what? I need to know. Are there certain black people that just don't like us because this is something that's bothered me for a long time. I just never feel like I can talk about it. I never feel like I can talk about it because and I know I'm okay, and I'm not even being political or racial or anything. I just want to know from my black friends out there on TikTok, like, are there some black people that just don't like us because for no other reason? Because I'm like friendly to everybody, and they're every color. Let's just put it out there, okay? There's every color. But I sometimes think that there's certain black people that just don't like me because is it in my head? I don't think so. So this is a genuine question. Don't these comments, don't you be, but I want to know, are there certain black people that just don't like us because and what can we do? I'm scared. Maybe I'll delete this.
It's not that we don't like you. We just really don't trust you. And then you don't give us any more reasons to trust you, so we keep on not trusting you. But then people like yourself will be like, oh, why don't any black people like people? Without realizing that it's not an issue of liking, it's about trust and the history we have. So then we don't like you because you're failing to grasp the point that at least I feel is entirely obvious. And that is, I'm not going to inherently trust you just because you exist. You need to do something to earn that trust.
I seen your response to somebody on your video, and you basically tried to make it seem like we don't know what a hood black person is, or we're trying to pretend like we don't know. That's not the issue. The issue is that certain group of black people have used this platform and used this trend on other black people, unprovoked. We are seeing classism and internalized on full display. And then people are throwing rocks and then hiding their hands as if the intention of what they're doing isn't malicious. Y'all are operating without couth. And I'm speaking about the people that decided to use this trend on other black people for no reason. Y'all are acting without couth. This couth comes from aligning yourself and being friends with and actually communing with other black people of different backgrounds, socioeconomic or otherwise. That's where that couth comes from. And then that's how we continually move as a unit. Moving as a unit is not using social media to talk about other black people and then throwing rocks and then hiding your hands as if the intention of what you're trying to do isn't malicious. Because these aren't just jokes. The things that you're saying on this very public platform is being seen by people that are non-black and don't have the full context, and further emboldening their own internalized and classes. Therefore, y'all took a trend that should have just been funny little jokes and actually made it more dangerous for our image as black people. Y'all are operating as supremacists. And we're trying to point it out. But then you have people trying to make it seem like we're trying to have a who's more black off. And if you're then you're beyond saving.
In a country that enslaved black people never paid for it. And y'all be asking questions like this. Meanwhile, the same government who okayed it determine the curriculum in school, and they decide they're going to show slave movies to black people while they sit next to people who look just like you. Like Muhammad Ali said, though, every line they're going to try to attack you, but who going to be dumb enough to wait for the one that's not? You got Karens on every corner. You got the cops trying to get any chance they get. You got the KKK that the government does nothing about. You have the government who not putting in no bills to protect black people from all that. So when you ask this question, it's just laughable. I believe most of the country is not, but I know for a fact that most of the country don't mind accepting the benefits, and so it don't really matter to people like us. This country is so money hungry, it enslaved black people for over 400 years and never paid for it. And every time they talk about reparations, they so greedy, they think we more concerned about getting money. But in reality, when you admit that you wrong, that is how you correct your behavior. But because they don't want to admit they wrong, they let us know they want to keep them going. This is what the country is built off of. When you hear people say, make America great again, and we'll have always been in control of it, what they mean is get their slaves back. That was the only time they can say whatever they want and do whatever they wanted to us, and nobody would dare question it. But now all these woke people are starting to get on their nerves. To say make America great again is delusional anyways. In a country that was built with no integrity, off of the backs of slaves, all of the evil that was done, and they documented it. So it's not just me saying this. We had to go to school to study, so I know what I'm talking about. The same country that has not taken a break from their evil to the life that was created by God will lie to themselves and say, God bless America. That we got to deal with.
Now, as a black person, it's important for me to echo and expand upon the sentiments shared by my fellow black brothers in this discussion. The question of trust between black and palm color communities runs deep and is rooted in a complex history of oppression and systemic racism. For centuries, black people have faced systemic barriers to equality, from slavery to Jim Crow laws to modern day discrimination. Now, these injustices have not only shaped our collective consciousness, but have also created a deep-seated skepticism towards institutions and individuals who have historically perpetuated harm against us. So when we talk about trust, it's not about interpersonal relationships. It's about trust in systems of power and authority. It's about questioning whether those in positions of influence truly have our best interests at heart, or whether they will uphold the status quo that continues to marginalize and disenfranchise us. The issue of trust is further complicated by the prevalence of microaggressions, implicit biases, and everyday acts of racism that black individuals face on a regular basis. These experiences chip away at our ability to trust and make it difficult to let our guard down, even in seemingly innocuous interactions. Despite these challenges, there is hope for progress. Building trust requires genuine efforts from both black and palm color communities to confront and dismantle systemic racism, to listen to each other's experiences with empathy and understanding, and to work towards creating a more just and equitable society for all. Now, as a black individual contributing to this dialogue, I feel compelled to go even deeper into the multifaceted nature of trust within interracial dynamics. The issue of trust is not simply a matter of personal preference or individual bias. It is deeply intertwined with historical legacies of oppression, exploitation, and systemic inequality. Throughout history, black communities have been subjected to generations of exploitation, violence, and disenfranchisement at the hands of palm-color dominated institutions and systems. From the transatlantic slave trade to the era of Jim Crow segregation to present-day disparities in education, employment, and criminal justice, the legacy of racism continues to cast a long shadow over our collective consciousness. In this context, trust becomes a precious commodity, hard-earned through shared experiences of resilience, solidarity, and resistance. It is not easily extended to those who represent the very systems that have historically oppressed us. So this skepticism is not a reflection of personal animosity, but rather a survival instinct honed through generations of struggle. The dynamics of trust are further complicated by the prevalence of unconscious biases, microaggressions, and institutional barriers that permeate our daily lives. These subtle forms of discrimination chip away of our sense of security and erode our ability to trust in the goodwill of others, particularly those who may not share black people's lived experiences. Now, as I conclude this discussion, the dialogue we've engaged in today highlights the deep-seated historical context and systemic injustices that underpin issues of trust between black and palm color communities. It's essential to recognize that building trust is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process that requires intentional effort empathy, and understanding from all parties involved. Now, this process involves actively challenging biases, listening to marginalized voices, and committing to meaningful action to dismantle systems of oppression. Fostering trust also necessitates creating spaces for open and honest dialogue, where difficult conversations about race, privilege, and power dynamics can take place without fear of judgment or reprisal. By engaging in these conversations with humility and a willingness to learn, I think there can be deeper connections and bridge the divides that have long separated us. This is what I feel, but what do you, my viewers, have to say about this video? Share your comments in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.